Thanks for coming to the SBP podcast, Mobile Filmmaking. I'm your host, Susie Botello, and you are listening to episode 116. Happy New Year, everyone. Hey, it's 2022. Can you believe that? That's pretty crazy how fast we got here. It was just yesterday was 2020, wasn't it? Hey, I hope that you realize all your dreams this year, that all your wishes come true, and that you have a very peaceful, healthy, prosperous, and very happy new year. I'm going to introduce you to our friend in this episode. His name is Maxim Mussel. He is one of the judges for the International Mobile Film Festival in the short film competition. So I think it'd be really a wonderful thing for you to meet him. But you know what? I'm going to just introduce him while he's here speaking with you and tell you some of the other really cool things about him that you may not know. Maxim is in Russia. And, yes, I'm going to wait. I'm going to wait 1 second here. Let's go and talk to Maxim so I can share all the really cool things that you're going to find out. Hey, Max, welcome back to the SBP podcast. How are you?
Hello, Susie. Nice to hear you again.
It's great hearing you and great having this wonderful conversation with you. We're already starting to talk, guys. Maxim Mussel is in Russia.
Yes.
Yes, and we are in San Diego. Don't you just love how the world works in podcasting?
Mm-hmm.
Max, why don't you share with everyone now? I want to share with you first that as you are one of the judges for our film festival here coming up in April, do you have any words, any warnings?
I have only one word. Thank you so much, because for me it's very symbolic that that you invite me, because as you remember, I start my career in mobile filmmaking, let's say 8 years ago, maybe.
Wow.
When I sent a film to your festival and get one of the prizes, and now after 8 years, I'm judging. I'm judging in your festival. I think it's a long way, but in a very short way.
It's an honor for me to have you do that too. Just
thank you.
You know, it's now that's called community, guys.
Yes, I think so. Yeah, it's really that.
And there's another thing that you also were inspired, not just to get passionate or become passionate about, the potential with mobile filmmaking, but also you decided to help the community over there in Russia. Is your film festival the only film festival like this in Russia?
Yes,
Russia is
only
huge.
One. Yes, it's really only one. In this year we have it, I forgot, third or fourth time.
Yeah.
But no one start the same festival. More, I can say more. All the festivals in Russia must have the, how can I say, official named by the government. Because if you don't have it, you have problems to show the films officially. Because in Russia we have very strange, let's say, situation with license for showing films. You must get it, and if you are the official festival by the government, you don't need this one.
So you need permission. You need official permission from the government to show a film and to make one, right?
If you want to be in the international festival, you must have it.
Okay.
And they get that every year, and we saw that no one else have the same festival. That's why, yes, you're right. We're the first, only one and the first and only one in Russia.
Wow. Well, congratulations.
Thank you.
There's a lot riding on your shoulders. Everyone there is depending on you, and here, because you're getting filmmakers films, right, from all over the world, right?
Yeah, the same as you. Maybe not big numbers that you have, but typically we get, let's say, 200 or more films every year. But it grows up every year also.
Also, the films get better.
Yes, you're right. I think you saw this also. For example, when we start, we have, let's say, 10 films from 200, which is really interesting. Now we really have 20 or 30, which is which can take place in our short list, which we have in the end of the festival.
And you also have the feature. How many? You have feature films, right? Now?
Yeah, I have them like a producer. Okay. Now I produce 3 feature films, which is one of them get the first prize in Russian big festival, and not specific for mobile filmmaking. We are in a general conversation, and we get the Grand Prix of this festival with one of these films.
Wow.
Now
now, are these narrative feature films?
Yes, they are narrative feature films, and now I have a joke that maybe I'm the first, or maybe only one person in the world which produced 3 feature long feature films
with and all with the mobile phones.
Yes, all is mobile phones.
Oh, you could be then. You may have broken. You know how I am about those things. You know, the pioneers and the first, broken records.
Yeah, you're right.
It's like, Jennifer Zhang, who edited her entire feature-length film that won last year. And it was called Sharon. And that film was edited and shot with a phone, with the iPhone. And she didn't realize at the time that she was breaking a record. She just wanted to get this done and thought, well, let me figure out how to edit it on the phone. And she did it. And so she got a special award from our film festival for pioneering that.
Yeah, because all of these 3 films, of course, we edited on the computers, on typical programs like.
Well, most people do. Well, for a feature-length film, it's a lot to edit that. I mean, on a phone, that's just. It's crazy.
A challenge. It's really a challenge.
Yeah, it's just crazy. And she knows it. She knows it's crazy. So we could say that.
You're right.
So these 3 films that you have, are you able to just share, so they're all feature films. How long are each one of them?
I tell you, all of these 3 films is near 1 hour, let's say 20 minutes.
Oh,
15
very
minutes,
good.
20 minutes. Yes. And it's really 3 different themes. They how can I say, or genres they are. One of them is, let's say, drama.
Okay.
And about the father and the son, where the father is an officer of the police, and the son is a young revolutionary man.
Oh, a rebel.
Rebel, yes, and it's the drama between them, and it's very how can I say, well connected with the how can I say, the situation in Russia today, and very actual. The second one named. I forgot on English. Okay. The second one is about two young people, the boy and the girl, the pair of people, which one of them, the girl, really ill, and the boy tried to find money to survive, to help her to do the medicine for her and so on. It is another one, and the third is about the old lady, which is let's say 80 years old, and she tried to go to Paris. Because she after the death of her husband, she find the letters and the photos, which shows that he have the how can I say, the second life and the second wife in Paris, and the old lady tried to get the tickets and tried to go to Paris to see her, and all the relatives tried to how can I say, stop her, try to.
Oh, they don't want her to go.
They want her to go. Yes. Now we understand that these three different films, in three different genres, because the last one is a comedy.
Gosh, you did this all in, and so how far apart? All right, sorry. I'm just going to have to ask you all these questions now. It's an interrogation here. So the first film, right, that you shot, probably closer to the beginning of the year, right? That one, how long did that take for you to produce, in production?
The first one we do 3 years ago, and we get prize 2 years ago, and it took like its development of the film take, let's say, 1 or 2 months. Then,
okay.
Yes. Then we have a shot. I'm right on English. I mean the short period when you shoot your film.
Yeah. Okay, filming, yeah, I see. So I thought you did them all in 1 year, but
yes, it's not more. No, I think it's like 9 months, like that.
Yeah. Well, but I mean, so you did one a few years ago.
Sorry, what?
Wait, so you did each one of these films in different years?
No. Yes, in different years.
Yeah.
We do the first of them 3 years ago.
Yeah.
The second one we start 2 years ago, ended only now because the pandemic things.
Right.
And the third of them we start this summer, and now we in how can I say, in the end of the process. I think we need some, maybe 1 month, maybe January or February, for a sound production.
Very, very cool. Yeah, I don't know of anyone else who's shot 3 feature films with a phone total yet.
My joke is that only Steven Soderbergh do the films, but 2, not 3.
Yeah. Well, and our friends over there in the UK, Caroline and James with Raya Films, they shot 2 films, 2 feature films. Yeah. But nobody's done 3. So far.
Yes.
Hey, yes, if anybody out there that's listening knows, because we like to keep a record for the history books, you know, of who's breaking these. I forgot the name of that. Breaking the what is that thing where they break the records? You know, the longest
break records.
Yeah, they break the records, like the longest, the tallest man in the world, you know, and things like that. Guinness Book of World Records.
Guinness Book. Yeah.
We have our own for the mobile filmmaking industry.
and you know that the funny thing is that now we in a post-production, the fourth one, which is documentary, the full-length documentary, but it's part shot on phone, part on a cameras like Red or something like that. It's a documentary about. It's very interesting. In Russia, we have the part which named Yakutia, which is Yakut. It's a small part of Russia. Oh, it's a big part, but small of the people which live there. It's on the north, like Alaska on the States.
Okay.
Yes, yes, and they have they have very quickly grow up cinematography now, very, very quickly. And they have the films which get the prizes in many festivals. And we do the documentary about this phenomenon. We goes with our group goes there and shot the story about these people. And part of this story filmed on the phone, part on a Red.
Wow. Yeah, it's actually common for documentaries to be shot, especially when they're getting footage from different sources, to be shot with different cameras.
Yes,
Especially when they have older, footage and home videos with camcorders and Super 8 films and all the other formats. I worked in video production and we had to do a biography once. And I had to digitize these videos that were shot with the high 8 cameras. And that was just such a horrible experience.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's great.
In this film, we use mobile filmmaking and the smartphone because it's part of the idea of this film. Yeah. I tell you how we do it. We put the people, let's say, on the chairs and ask them questions. And this one we shot by typical cameras like Red, and then we use the phone to show the people and the situation and all these things like
B-roll.
Yes, like lifestyle. I mean,
it's the B-roll to go along with what they were saying.
Yes, you're right. Yeah, like that. And we combine these two kind of pictures, and it goes very interesting because it shows official, let's say, side of the story and non-official side of the story.
Well, that's interesting. Do you do reenactments?
Yes, I think then if we ended it, let's say some months, maybe 2 or 3, I can show it to you. I mean,
I'd love to see it.
To show. Yes, yeah. We do of course,
don't
the subtitles.
Show anybody else but me.
Okay, I show you everything, but especially to you. Okay.
Just kidding.
Okay.
Yeah, no, that sounds great. Wow. Okay. So you guys, you're getting this. This is the record breaker Maxim Mussel from Russia, who shot 3 feature films with a phone, and 1/4 mixed. But that one doesn't count because it's not all full. But still, that's pretty awesome. Well, you're busy. So let's talk about your film festival, because I have no idea how you're able to do that on top of everything.
You see, it goes well because I think you know that it's...
I work on my film festival all year long, Maxim.
Yes. For me, the first one is very difficult. Now, how can I say?
You have a template.
Yes, I have a template. I understand how to do everything, how to convert, for example, for DCP, because we show our films in a cinema, and they ask us to bring the DCP format.
Right.
That's why I understand at what moment I must order prizes in some place and so on. That's why for me it's like a typical story. I know everything.
Yeah, but it's still there's a lot of, so sometimes I don't know, but sometimes there are new things that come up, things that you want to do more of. And sometimes, someone throws a wrench in the plan at the last minute type thing.
Oh,
There's
for example,
stressful.
for example,
Yeah.
The festival which we have 2 years ago happened on pandemic time, and we need to put all of our films online on an online platform. This is really difficult story because we must change every process.
I was there. I had to do the same thing. I only had like 3 weeks or something like that to do it for me. Almost a month to get everything done.
This is
you remember?
Is difficult story.
Yeah, you remember because you were a judge back then too.
Yes.
And you remember that, so I called everybody. Well, I called you. I emailed everybody and I said, answer me right away. Right now, California is going into lockdown at midnight. And I didn't find out until just a couple of hours before that was taking place. And then I had to get all the results from everybody finalized so that we can tabulate them so that I could get the results to the find out who the winners were and take them the next, that night, email them to the engravers for the trophies, who was supposed to be closing like at noon or something like that the next day. And they were going to have to stop. And in order for me to get the trophies so that when I presented them online, right?
I have the same. You see, maybe you remember the story also. I must change the license because I must ask everyone who was in a short list, is it possible to show their films online?
I had to do the same thing.
Yep. Yes, and this is the difficult situation because most of the authors, they try, how can I say, they agree to show their films in live, in the cinemas, but not online because it can be problem with another festival. After that. Yes. But we have agreement with all of them for 1 week because our festival takes place in 1 week, and we put their films for 1 week on a platform, and then we switch it off.
We had most of the trouble with that was more so with the film, the feature films than we did with the shorts. And that that was crazy because it was like, okay, well, they have they were authorized. They had to ask, some of the festivals and get the authorization to do that. And then we had to agree. And I told them, I said, we're going to do it during, just like a live film festival, during the film festival time, because we weren't going to change the dates or anything. So during that time, and then they would go completely offline, and they got that approved, but it was such a, and there were other things that were also asking the filmmakers to send in, video messages so that I could put them into a video. And you guys, the judges.
And also, I remember a thing which I want to tell you. To be honest, we change step by step. We change the direction of our festival. I mean, not the international part with the filmmakers, but in Russia. I tell you, when we began, we have the festival for the typical people. I mean, not for directors, not for young cinematographers, but for the people from the streets. They go, they visit us, they saw the films, they have some classes and some lessons and so on. Yeah. But now we move to the professional festival. We change the public of our festival. mostly we have good connections with the cinema schools, and we invite the students of the schools, cinema schools, and we mostly, how can I say, we mostly gave them professional lessons, not, let's say, how to shot something on a phone, but more deep information. For example,
more educational.
more professional and more educational. For example, how to work with the artist, how director must work with the artists in a mobile filmmaking, because it's a different story. Of course, director is the same and the actor is the same, but they must be, the actors must more, how can I say, people, how can I say in English? I mean, people must see
This
the
is
truth.
where me learning Russian would come in handy.
Yes, people must. I mean, the audience must see the truth when they saw mobile filmmaking films, because you can't do it artificial. You see, you must do it very, very honest.
Yeah.
and authors and actors, sorry, must be very honest. They must look like people from the streets. They must look like, not like an artist. They must see like your friends, your parents. I don't know. You see, and this is difficult to.
You mean
get from
the
an
characters
actor.
in the films, right?
Not only the characters, but really the actor must play very, very, how can I say, lively.
I see. Yeah, I see what you mean. You're basically, what you're saying is they have to be good actors.
But
believable actors.
Believable, yeah.
Yeah.
This is a right word. You need believable actors, and believe me that not most of the actors are believable.
Oh, no.
Only some of them. Only some of them.
Yeah. Yeah, and that happens a lot, and that's part of something I've discussed here with separate actors in this podcast, Max, that if you have a good story, and a narrative film, a narrative story, then you want good actors to depict the characters of that story, or you're going to miss, the audience is going to miss your
Absolutely
message,
right.
and that. So
if anyone asks me what things must be in mobile filmmaking, I say that the same that in other filmmaking, but mostly it's very important to have a script, the right script, and actors, and the editing.
And audio.
How can I say?
It's actually everything.
Oh, of course, audio,
it's actually everything. Right. But there's a priority list, that you can't do without it, because then the other things, no matter how good they are, fail.
You're right, but because we need the truth in our films. I mean, the mobile. I tell you the truth that I don't believe that in a, how can I say, very. I mean, the stories which is not from the real life. I don't believe that you can use mobile phone to show the stories which is not really happened in life. Yeah. I don't believe the stories about aliens, for example.
Yeah, they don't come out well unless they're done very well. And you have to use. It's like Lord of the Rings or something like that, or Labyrinth. Yeah. Any of those films. Yes. It's very hard to do something like that with a phone, not because of the camera, but because of the budget that's involved in all the effects, and the in production and post production.
And also another thing that people, how can I say, they don't understand that this one is filming by phone, but they, how can I say, feel it inside. For example, when you show the film for the people in a cinema, for example, they must believe to the story, they must believe to the picture, they must believe in actors. You see, and if you do it on a phone, it's very difficult to put some artificial things in your film. It's immediately looks like artificial things in this story, and this is the main problem.
Here's the term: cheesy.
Mm-hmm.
Cheesy.
Cheesy, yeah. Oh, yeah, you're right. Cheesy, yeah.
It looks really cheesy.
Cheesy,
yeah, and then something that is supposed to be serious becomes comedy in a way. Yeah, like a mock.
Yeah. Yes, it's a good way, but you see, the comedy is most difficult thing in the world.
Oh yeah, but this isn't the kind of comedy I'm talking about. I'm talking about people just flat out laughing at your attempt to make a good film, which is completely different. Yeah, it's like people going, "Yeah, right,"
Yeah, this is not difficult.
Yeah, no, right? It's actually, comedy, you're right. The timing and the tempo and the, comedy is very, very difficult. That's why I think, I don't know if you believe this or not, but I'll try. Actors, some of the comedy actors, some of the best comedy actors have actually also played, like Robin Williams. I don't know if you saw Garp.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
I love this guy, of course.
Yeah, and a lot of the good comedy actors end up being very good drama actors as well, because they learn a lot about emotions.
You see, we have the same in
that.
Russia.
Yeah,
we have the same in Russia. The best Russian comedy actors, they are fantastic drama actors.
Yeah. I think that's probably true all over the world. I know that's also true in Italy and in Spain.
Yes, you're right.
Yeah. They're very, it's a very Dan Aykroyd is another one.
You mean this one? Yeah, I remember. Yeah.
Yeah. He play, from the Blues Brothers and all that stuff, and then he went on to do some very serious dramatic roles, later in life that were very good, very well done. There are never enough actors that receive Academy Awards, though, but none of the good ones, I think. Sometimes Sometimes,
yes.
All right, let's move on to this other topic that I know we wanted to talk about, which is, mobile filmmaking itself. The concept of it kind of touches on what we're talking about. So now for me, I've been talking about mobile filmmaking to people around the world, making movies with a camera on your phone since 2009. Now, it's now 2022, guys. If there's anything you can do is, I'm just going to say this personally, stop playing around and make a movie, a good movie. What do you say to that, Max?
I think that of course, you're right. Yeah, you're right. You see, the idea is that, but I saw. Excuse me, I changed the idea. I saw how the situation is growth. When I start, not like you, but 8 years ago.
Still a long time.
Yes. No one knows what is mobile filmmaking. They don't know the name of this phenomenon. They know we create a new, how can I say, words in Russia for that.
Yeah.
On Russian is мобильное кино. It's like mobile filmmaking in Russia. We never have these words before we start this process. Okay, it starts 8 years ago. No one knows. Every person which take the phone and do some kind of pictures, I don't know, is a creator.
Yes.
Then we start the courses in Russia to study how to film better with a phone, how to do it better, how use the light, the sound, and so on and so on. And now we have thousands, not thousand, okay, 100 film schools which specialized on mobile filmmaking.
Yeah.
Really.
Yeah, I know.
That's why I stopped my courses, because I understand that it no how can I say, no idea to continue this kind of work, because many of my let's say students, they open their own film making platforms.
Anybody who makes a film, anybody
Yes.
who can shoot good videos is teaching it now.
Yes. And at that moment, I understand that I must stop on this moment and must change the direction. And I understand that I must, for example, for the beginning, as I tell you, I must study, do the courses for the professionals. This is my first, how can I say, the first which I decide, that I stop studying typical people from any, let's say, spheres. I study only professionals, young professionals. And I give them not only the instrument, which named phone, but also the conception, how to write a script, how to find the actors, how to promote it, and so on and so on. And now we change our direction, and I think it's a how can I say, it's right way to develop this story.
Well, tell us more. Tell us more about how you're doing that.
I tell you, now we work like producers with the young directors who ended or studied in filmmaking schools. We have much of them in Moscow. For example, more than 10, I think, schools.
Yeah, wow.
We have maybe 20. Yes, and we invite them to our courses, where we try to help them how to use the phone like professional instrument, and how to use another things to create their debut full-length film. Because for any director, once in a moment they must, let's say, shot the feature film, and we help them to do this. That's why we change our how can I say, direction, and now we work like producers for the debutants.
You know, that's really interesting. Remember, Mickey Harrison, who's, I think she's going to turn 88 or something in March.
I think so. Yes.
Yeah.
I remember.
So the way I met her, one of the things that we did together through her production, her film production company, was because she was also a casting agent, you know. But she worked, with filmmakers, from Hollywood films, and TV shows, and she would get these people together as a group, and she would, the students knew about her, and students in universities, around Southern California, here in San Diego especially, and they would call to her and say, "Hi, I'm a student, and I'm making my final student film, and I've heard about you, and I would like to know how do I get you to help me make that film?" wonderful.
Yes, I do this work. You're really, you're absolutely right. This is the point where I and my friends put our, how can I say,
Your resources.
energy, resources and energy. Yes. The first, we try to help the students to do their last work in a course.
Mm-hmm.
And the second, we get the people which are really ended the schools. And now they are young directors, but they have no, how can I say, have no ideas, money, anything to do their first full-length film. And we say, we can help you. We can help you with the script. We can help you with the actor, with the casting. And also, if your film and your story goes well with the mobile filmmaking, we help you to do this on a phone, because you say it's really fantastic how cheap you can do the film with a phone. And it's very funny that most of the people think that it's cheaper because it's a smaller camera. I mean, they say, if you have a big camera, it's cost very expensive. If it's small camera, it costs very cheap.
Yeah.
And it's funny because, of course, it's not is not like it not goes like that. The cheaper how can I say, the economy goes not because the big or small camera, but because of the
project,
the time of the project,
yeah.
the shorter time of the project. For example, we shot full-length film typically in 8-9 days. And in classic cinematography, it needs, let's say, month.
Yeah.
And that's why it goes very cheaper. And
you
now,
need less people for for some films where you need more for others as well.
Mm-hmm. No, it's very interesting. I think you have the same in States. Now we have the how can I say, growing up the platform. I mean, like Netflix, but others in Russia, and they have big money for development, for to buy some products and so on. And if you do the film by the phone, you have very, as I tell you, cheap costs, I mean, small costs. And when you came to the platform, you can sell it, let's say, twice price. Yeah. Because it's nothing for them. For example, they pay, let's say, $1,100, and you spent 1,500,000.
Well,
like that.
It's like the taste. It's so going to something simple that everybody understands is food, right?
Yes.
The cost of making the food is not the what people pay to eat the food. It doesn't. It's not the same thing, because if the food tastes good, the person who's going to pay to eat it, they love the food. They're willing to pay more. They don't care how much you paid for the tomatoes and the pasta.
Mm-hmm. For example, we sell 2 of our films, which shot by mobile phone, to the big platforms, and they buy it.
Very cool.
And they put it on a platform. I mean, the same like Netflix. I mean, we have this in Russian. It's maybe, let's say, 10 or something like that, which really buy the product, and they are not afraid any second that it's shot by the phone. They say, we see the product, we see the good story, we buy it. That's all.
Yeah, there's more and more of those, that to them it's about the product and who's going to watch it, the views that they're going to get more than anything else. And I think that's actually very interesting. And Jennifer was speaking about that in that, I was a guest on the film podcast And she brought that up because she's currently in that process of selling hers, and somebody wanted it, and she said, how much can I promote the fact that should we promote the fact that it was shot on the phone? And they said, we don't care. Same thing you just said.
Yes.
We don't care. It's
Yes.
just a movie like any other movie for us.
When we do the first feature film, we put big letters on the screen, shot by phone. And when we do the second one, we discuss in our group with the producers, and we understand we don't put any words about that. It's not a marketing feature.
I think actually the reason I like putting that on there, that I think it should be noted, not in the beginning, but I think
in the end, yes.
in the end. And I think the reason for that, to me, it's because of where I'm coming from as a festival director and for this podcast, right? I don't say this is about films. I say, this is about, it's for people who are enthusiastic about videos and films shot with smartphones.
I agree.
Because this inspires them, because they all have a phone.
I agree, and it's a good argument. Thank you for that, because maybe next time when I think about it and discuss with the producers, I say, put in the end these words.
Because
maybe
Susie
someone
said.
saw it. Yes, Susie said, for example, and another one. Maybe we find a new young, let's say, star, especially.
I have a phone.
From that.
I watched a film that I really liked this film. It really captivated me. And now and you don't do that when you're watching Jaws. You don't go, oh, I have that camera. but with the phone, everybody has one. That's why I think it's important, because it's not, there is that argument of why should it and why shouldn't it be treated like any other film? And I get that. But from my point of view, it's like, well, because you're really inspiring people that actually have the tool in their hand. They don't have to go out and sell their house or, beg their parents to buy them a camera. There are people here that have basically taken out a second mortgage to their homes to make a movie.
Yeah, yes, you're right. I agree. And what do you think? I have a question to you.
Oh.
What do you think? You saw many people in these years which start to use the smartphone for the filming, like me and others. Do you? The question is, do you saw anyone who grows up from mobile filmmaking and then became the real director in the studios, in a TV or something? I mean, do you know anyone who do this first steps, and then grow up and became the big, let's say, not big, but any kind of
to move from smartphone to there are plenty people out there in the independent filmmakers. So we're in a niche, right? We have a few thousand people around the world that are making seriously making films. Let's be serious.
I think not more than I think not more than, let's say, 200 or 300. Okay, maybe near 1,000, but not more.
Yeah, I would say that those who are seriously making mobile films, there comes a point now when we said was go to feature films, right? Move away from the short films and go to feature films. But there's another aspect to that where it doesn't matter how long your film is, which ends up being move on to making bigger budget films, right? Because so here's how I see it, Max. One of the things I've noticed in the last couple of years with our film festival are independent filmmakers from LA who submitted films, to our film festival because they were in the pandemic, right? Jennifer, I'm gonna have to tell her we talked about her a lot on this episode, guys. But one of the things that she did, she had a plan for making a film, and then COVID happened and the lockdown. She's from LA. She's a filmmaker, so she's one of those people that has, through this film, all of a sudden, I mean, she was doing it before, but now she's got even more. I think if she were here, she would say, "Yeah, I got a little more energy for making films because I had such a great experience making that feature film that even went to Cannes, you know." It's actually pronounced can. So, all right. Yeah, but she's making films now with, traditional cameras like she was before. But she had a great experience with mobile filmmaking, and she wants to make another film with her phone, But I would say, Max, that as far as people going from mobile to traditional cameras, is that really what you're saying? I think there are a few. And I think what happens is people start to realize that they own their product when they don't have to use other people's money to create it.
This story about Jennifer is very interesting because, as I tell you, now we understand that on one hand we help students and the young authors to do their debuts, but another story is that we work with some professional directors with a typical, let's say, traditional industry story, and they interested how to do the films with the phones, and they contact with us, and we help them in this way. We are not producing them, but we help them to do some creative works. Not a big one, but maybe music clips or something like that.
I think music videos. Oh, remember Ivan. How do you pronounce his last name again?
Ivan.
Yeah, remember Ivan with that video, that music video, that one at the what was the name of it? It was about the elderly couple that takes off. They break free from the nursing home, and they go on a romantic adventure. And I was teaching at a high school, and I showed the students that film too, in the classroom. And it was, and they, it was the first film that I showed them, and I said, let me show you this. I was teaching mobile filmmaking, and they just went, wow, because it was such a cute story. It's a very elderly couple in an elderly home, a nursing care facility, and they escape. They hitchhike, right? And then they steal the car or the truck or whatever it was from the guy.
Now I understand what you mean.
Yep.
Oh, I forgot. Yes, it's Ivan. Yes, Ivan.
Yeah.
We are big friends with him.
Yes.
We know each other very well. Yeah.
What's his last name?
Sosnin. Yes.
Sosnin.
Sosnin.
Yep, that's right.
In the end, Sosnin. N-I-N.
Yep. Sosnin.
Yeah. You see, he's very popular now. He do this big length film, not with the mobile phones. He won many prizes now. Yeah, I know him very well, and he's a good example because he was the professional director, which do the films by the traditional way, and also have this fantastic music video about this part of.
And he sold that too.
Yes.
So everybody's
That's
selling.
Why, yes, I think that we have two directions how the mobile filmmaking will grow up. The first, we we teach and help the young people to do their first films by the phone.
Yeah.
And the second one is in professional sphere, where we help the professional people how to use the phone for their professional how can I say
here's the third part.
Needs, professional needs.
Yeah,
yes.
but here's the third part. This is the part where I think is really
Mm-hmm.
cool. And if you're a younger filmmaker, you're just starting
Mm-hmm.
out, you're going to love what I have to say, because I know you realize this too. The
Mm-hmm.
third part of all of this is your tribe,
Mm-hmm.
making the connections with a certain amount of people who share your passion for making the types of films, because there's different types of films all over the place, but your type of films, the type of films that you're interested in making,
Mm-hmm.
that's a very important part of filmmaking. And anyone who's in filmmaking knows that they tend to work with a group of people. They have a group of people that they call on whenever they make a film. And those are the same people that end up working together. They become like a family.
Mm-hmm.
And I
You're
think
right.
that part is very important. And to bring, it's why I believe, we had the mobile film school here in San
Mm-hmm.
Diego that I launched at the same time almost as the film festival. But not, so before in 2011, before we even had our inaugural film festival, we already were putting that together. And the purpose of that was hands-on, the hands-on instruction. Because what happens, you get people in a room together from the same area and they become friends. And they begin to work together and learn how each other works together and get along. And that's very important in this business.
Yeah, I agree. You're right. This is the third one. Yes. Now we have the whole picture.
Yeah. Well, there's three. Everything's,
yes.
threes succeed, right?
Three is better than two. I agree.
Always. So what else do we need to talk about? Because I just want to make sure that we cover all these things that you wanted to mention.
Only one thing that, as I tell you before, now I try to write another book. The first one was on Amazon, and it sells not so quickly, but let's say 2 or 3 books in a month, or 5 books in a month. It's okay, I think. Now I try to write a new one, which is not which is not about the first steps of filmmaking, but it's about how to create real movie, real film with a smartphone. And the name maybe can be like that. Now I try to
more in
understand.
depth.
Yes. The name can be mobile filmmaking, instrument or concept.
Love it. I like it. So there you go. So we're doing like the TV shows where you plug in your book.
Okay.
This is awesome. Well,
now I must finish it and edit it and publish it in Russian, and then I think about translation.
Oh yeah. Did you ever translate the other one?
You mean
the 100 steps?
Yes, of course. We have it on. You
I read it.
In English.
I would not have been able to. I just wanted to know if you had it translated in a book format, for in print.
You can, I don't have in English in print, only in Russian.
Only in Russian.
But as I know, I can. I must do some work on Amazon to change because now it's only
Max, book. Here's what I'm thinking. In our film festival, hopefully, supposedly, we're going to have an in-person film festival. If you can get if you can get, doesn't have to be too many, just a few of
Mm-hmm.
those in print books, right?
Mm-hmm.
Then maybe we can give some of those away, in English, to
Mm-hmm. Yeah, of
the
course.
to some of the filmmakers at the festival. And
I think about it. Yeah, it's a good idea.
yeah. Anyway, that's a
Mm-hmm.
thought, but I don't know if you're going to finish your other book in time. But either way,
No,
we'll
I
promote
only
it.
on Russian, I think, not on English. Yeah.
It takes a while.
Yes.
Yeah,
I think
books are
it
a lot of
needs.
work.
Yes, it's really work. That's why I ended our talk with you, and this morning I think I continue working on some of
Hey, what are the
points.
dates? Are you accepting films right now for your festival?
Now on 10th of January we have last deadline. Oh, not last, first deadline.
Oh, okay.
I mean,
So, what's the website address?
it's a very simple mobile filmmaking .org. O-R-G.
Yeah,
Org.
not orc like the orcs in the Lord of the Rings.
Org. Yes. No. It's org with G in the end.
Yeah.
Yeah, mobile
Okay.
filmmaking.org.
Okay, that's great. That's a great domain.
Mm-hmm. Yes, but see, mobilefilmmaking.com was taken for
Yeah.
some guys which won't sell it to me.
Yeah,
but
see.
but I don't want to do it and put an org.
Yeah. Well, that's actually pretty good considering all that you're doing anyways. I love it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
Yes.
so that's the and when is the festival happening? Or maybe we don't want to talk about that. It's too close to my film festival date.
Yes. I think I put it in the social media and how can I say, push it on a different
date.
Yes, different pages. Okay.
Okay. Well, great. Okay. Now give everyone your Instagram. What is it?
Yeah, I give, but I mean, it's not so maybe interested because I don't put enough
that's
information about mobile filmmaking. It's mostly my pictures from vacation.
Those are cool. All right. Well, it's I forgot. You're mostly on Facebook.
Yes.
Or is
Mussel,
it Meta?
Mussel. Yes. Mussel Maxim on the Facebook, and I'm glad to be a friend with many other person on the world.
Well, awesome. Max, I'm really grateful for you being on the show. And I think our listeners are, you can feel free to contact Max to continue, your thoughts on this discussion with Max.
I'm glad.
And definitely if you follow us on social media, give us a tag and let us know you listen to the show. We always love to hear from our listeners. You're not too many. You're never a bother. So just get in touch. Max, I hope you have a wonderful day. I want to wish our listeners and you a happy New Year.
Thank you, Susie. For you is good New Year, good results on your festival, on your work, and in your life, the whole life. For your dog, as I remember, yes.
Yeah. I think I'll just roll over now in happiness.
Okay.
Say goodbye to our listeners.
Yeah, goodbye everyone, and see you on the festivals.